Welcome to a comprehensive guide on installing, configuring, and troubleshooting the dynamic duo of Brita's Weapon Pack and Arsenal 26 Gunfighter mod for Project Zomboid. These two mods work in perfect harmony, forming an indispensable arsenal of firearms for your survival in the zombie apocalypse. Brita's Weapon Pack provides an astonishing array of firearm models and textures from around the world, catering to every gun enthusiast's dreams, from the commonplace to the exceptionally rare. From its inception, Brita's Weapon Pack has held a steadfast mission to introduce virtually every firearm imaginable into Project Zomboid. It painstakingly recreates real-world weaponry, spanning the globe, encompassing the wildly popular and the most obscure gems. The sheer breadth of weapons within this pack is staggering. However, to truly appreciate the potential of these firearms, they need to transcend the limitations of the core game. Thus, a change was in order. Enter the Gunfighter mod, the powerhouse that breathes life into these hundreds of weapons. It does so by injecting new function and scripts, enabling these firearms to perform actions and feats beyond the capabilities of the core game. In essence, it boldly deviates from the vanilla template, effectively becoming a full conversion. This departure from the norm means that other firearm mods, which also tweak firearm mechanics, may encounter compatibility issues. Moreover, firearm mods adhering strictly to the vanilla template won't benefit from the added functionalities this mod offers. At its core, Brita's Weapon Pack and Gunfighter mods embody the belief that more is always better. If a firearm exists in the real world and can serve a purpose in the zombie apocalypse, it can find its way into these mods. I'm not content with just one or two of each gun. I want to get immersed in a world where I can enter a gun store and realistically hope to find something I've seen in real life. This is how I love to play the game, with as much realism as possible. Some might call this bloated, but remember, there are options to fine-tune loot types and categories. This mod is not about minimalism. It's about indulging in the full spectrum of possibilities. Additionally, the mod provides settings for customization, recognizing that every player has their unique preferences. The default settings act as a starting point for you to tailor the experience to your liking, as no one knows your ideal playstyle better than you do. Whether you crave the intensity of a war zone or relish the challenge of scavenging for a single magazine to match that rare gun you stumbled upon after a month, this mod grants you the freedom to dictate the terms of your survival. You can make guns a scarcity or ensure they're as common as the air you breathe, all through the customizable settings this mod has to offer. It's important to understand how these mods function in different game modes and how to configure their settings. In this section, we'll expand on the installation process and how to set up these mods according to your gameplay style. In single player mode, we are going to use the ModOptions mod by Star to configure the Gunfighter mod settings. This choice is primarily due to the ModOptions mod ability to apply changes instantly in-game, avoiding the need for a game restart. Please note that the ModOptions mod is not designed for multiplayer use and will not work effectively in that context. We'll cover multiplayer settings later. To use ModOptions, launch Project Zomboid, navigate to the ModOptions settings accessible in the main menu. Here you can fine-tune various Gunfighter mod settings to tailor the experience to your liking, adjust options to your preferences, and save your changes. If you ever want to reset your ModOptions settings to default, simply delete the Gunfighter mod section in the file called modoptions.ini. You can find this file usually in Users, User, Zomboid, and Lua. Upon the next game launch, the default settings will be restored. Single-player save games retain their own mod list. Enabling a mod in the main menu and then loading a save will not apply the mod. To add a mod to a save, you must do so through the Load More mod screen. If you have previously saved mod options settings and you've updated the Gunfighter mod, you'll need to ensure that the new options are included. To do this, go to the main menu, then Options, and select Mods. Toggle a setting so that the Apply button appears, then click it. This will update your mod options file with the new settings for use with the updated mod. In multiplayer mode, as of version 2.0, the mod has transitioned to using the more ideal sandbox settings method for both hosted and dedicated server situations. Keep in mind that this method is incompatible with mod options, and you cannot use mod options for multiplayer. In multiplayer, to reset the Gunfighter mod settings, just change the settings that are highlighted to their default. The Gunfighter mod relies heavily on hotkeys for various functions. Take a moment to configure these hotkeys to your liking. Familiarize yourself with the functions of each key, especially when it comes to managing magazines, as this will be crucial in your survival journey. Included in the latest version of Arsenal 26 Gunfighter mod is also a legacy version of the last public release of Gunfighter, which can be used to finish up any save games started before the update. It is strongly recommended not to enable this update for an existing save game. However, if you tend to do so, make sure to back up your save before enabling the update, as the effects on save games are unpredictable. Legacy server setting configs are not compatible with 2.0 due to new options and option ranges. Using an old version of the options file from the legacy version will not work effectively with 2.0. Now that you've successfully installed Brita's weapon pack and Arsenal Gunfighter mod, it's time to dive into the intricate world of configuration. The Gunfighter mod provides an extensive array of options, currently totaling 146, that can be meticulously tweaked to align the mod with your unique gameplay style and preferences. As of Gunfighter 2.0, each option setting now comes with a convenient tooltip description. To access these descriptions, simply hover your cursor over the option box or drop-down menu in-game. The caliber setting. This setting pertains to the type of ammunition used by firearms. It influences not only the firearms that spawn with a particular ammunition type, but also affects the availability of ammunition boxes, canisters, and sometimes ammunition feeding devices. If a magazine or clip is exclusively compatible with a specific type of ammo, it will be impacted by this setting. Keep in mind that certain loading devices can accommodate multiple ammunition types and will remain unaffected, even if all those types are reduced or removed. Type of action. This setting defines the mechanical action by which a firearm functions and cycles. The options encompass various firearm actions, including semi-automatic, fully automatic, lever action, pump action, and much more. The origin setting denotes the country where the firearm was manufactured. Even if some firearm brands such as Glock, CZ, and SIG are now produced in the United States, this option will categorize each firearm based on its actual country of origin. This ensures that the settings have a meaningful impact on the game. Options marked as exclusionary reduce or eliminate the spawn chance of specific items in particular locations. For instance, Non-hunting in hunting locations will remove automatic weapons and small calibers typically unsuitable for hunting from hunting areas. Non-surplus in surplus locations will exclude newer weapons that aren't typically distributed as surplus. The trim modifier applies to all firearms within the annotated location. It incrementally increases the spawn chance for items, helping you balance the overall item count in specific locations. This becomes particularly useful when multiple exclusion options are employed, decreasing the total number of items available in a given location. Similar to the trim option, rolls doesn't change individual item spawn chances, but provides additional opportunities for each item to succeed. For every roll, each item gets one chance, based on its spawn chance to appear. Adding rolls can potentially result in a single item spawning multiple times. Concealed carry weapon. This setting determines whether concealed carry weapons can be discovered on civilian zombies. The availability of firearms on zombies is influenced by caliber, type, origin settings. Cases. This option dictates whether gun cases can be found in residential locations. As with other settings, the firearms found in these cases are influenced by caliber, type, and origin settings. Magazine types affects the spawn chance of various magazine types. Ammo box or canisters determines the spawn chance of ammunition canisters for different ammunition types. Vehicle loot reducer. In Gunfighter 2.0, military and SWAT vehicles now contain a comprehensive loot list in line with their respective map locations. This offers a wider diversity of loot, but also presents the possibility of excessive loot in a single vehicle. This option allows you to reduce the loot available in vehicles through a reverse multiplier, providing more balanced gameplay. Now let's talk about all the new features that Gunfighter 2.0 adds to the game. One of the standout features of this update is the expanded information window. By pressing the G hotkey, which you can remap through the main menu, you can access a comprehensive report on the item currently held in your primary hand. If it's a weapon or a weapon attachment, this window will provide you with detailed information that updates in real time as you interact with the item. This comprehensive information window replaces the previous Show Weapon Info option, offering a cleaner, more organized, and information-rich interface. In this update, the mod creators have adopted a generic magazine approach whenever possible. This decision helps prevent overabundance of real-world magazines, many of which are proprietary to specific manufacturers. The rule of thumb is that if a magazine of the same caliber is within 1-2 rounds of another, it will use the generic magazine type. One of the early features of the Gunfighter mod was introducing the ability to visually detach magazines. This was crucial for implementing compatible magazine types, which are categorized into 4 groups: standard, extended, drum, and fixed. This detachment process occurs through the attachment clip slot. If you ever accidentally remove a magazine using the context menu and end up with a placeholder part, simply discard it, as your weapon will retain the contains magazine stat. Re-equipping the magazine will visually return it to the weapon clip slot. It's very important to understand the distinction between a clip and a magazine. A magazine can be fixed or removable and feeds ammunition into the firearm. A clip feeds ammunition into a magazine and is usually used and removed, but it's sometimes retained until empty. A speed loader falls into the clip category, as it feeds ammo into a fixed revolving magazine. For this mod, some magazines clips can accept multiple types of ammo, which can be configured through the context menu. This update introduces the ability to automatically select the next magazine type when all your currently selected magazine types are empty. You can configure this behavior through options, choosing to look for the smallest or the largest loaded magazine first, or to take no action at all. In-game, you can activate this feature by pressing the MagType Auto hotkey. Keep in mind that this function determines which magazine type will be used once you've run out of ammo for all your current selected magazine types. This update also introduces the ability to perform emergency reloading by dropping a magazine to the ground. This method is about 1 to 3 seconds faster, depending on your skill level, than retaining the ejected magazine before inserting the next one. You can configure this behavior through options to trigger, allow both methods, or disable it altogether. Certain weapons can be loaded in multiple ways. To switch to the alternate loading method of a firearm with this capability, press the Alt Load hotkey. For some revolvers, you can choose between speed loaders and loading individual rounds. Additionally, several firearms can be loaded using stripper clips or through single loading. Gunfighter 2.0 introduces weapon animations for various content. You can enable or disable this feature through the options menu. These animations include swinging nunchucks, strong and fired archery weapons, moving pistol slides, moving reciprocating bolts and charging handles, moving revolver cylinders and hammers, moving shotgun pumps, and spinning minigun barrel arrays. For certain weapon manufacturers with only one type of fire mode, this update allows you to remove the trigger group and reinstall it into a different firearm within the same pattern type. Currently, the following firearm patterns type support swapping trigger group components: Armalite, Kalashnikov, Heckler & Koch, FN Herstall Fall. To learn how to swap trigger groups for each pattern type, locate and read the corresponding skill book. Running into issues while using these mods? Here are some tips to help you troubleshoot and resolve common problems. First of all, avoid enabling too many mods at once. Most issues can be avoided or more easily solved if you don't enable a massive batch of mods all at once. Trying to launch a game with numerous mods jammed together can lead to conflicts and instability. It's recommended to enable mods one by one or in small groups to ensure they work together harmoniously. When you encounter the little red box error message, it indicates a Lua error. Something isn't functioning correctly or is being stopped. To identify the issue, follow these steps. Navigate to your Zomboid folder, open the file named console text, go to the end of the log file, search upwards for the word StackTrace. This will reveal the last errors that occurred during your last game session and pinpoint the Lua file and line number responsible for the problem. This information will help you identify the mod causing the issue. Another common issue is mod using the same mod ID. Ensure your mod list or collections do not contain mods with duplicate mod IDs. If you find that the mod feels overpowered or that weapons are too strong, remember that you can adjust settings within the mod. You have control over the spawn rates, weapon damage, and more. Default settings may not match your ideal balance, so take advantage of these adjustable options. For multiplayer options, do not use any server setting override mods. Gunfighter 2.0 utilizes the core game sandbox settings for multiplayer games, allowing server operators better control of the environment. For single-player options, avoid loading any server setting mods, as they are now obsolete with the 2.0 update. If you encounter issues with shooting, ensure that you're not running any mods that modify the rate of fire in the game. Other mods may alter this mod's functionality, causing problems. Using a mod that overrides reloading LUA modified by this mod may lead to errors when shooting. If the guns are not consuming ammo, keep in mind that running another mod that overrides the rate of fire code can result in guns not consuming ammo as intended. If you hear no shot sound, keep in mind that Ghost or Invisible mode nullifies sound in the core game. Also, some mods may interfere with sound. If you're missing icons, check if one of the required mods containing assets isn't loading. During the first time load in multiplayer, the game re-downloads mods into a different folder, which may take some time. Allow it to finish initializing if you think your game is stuck initializing. Suppressors not working. Running another mod that interferes with the suppression code in this mod can cause suppressors not to work. Avoid using multiple mods trying to achieve the same functionality. If you notice items for Brita's mod are not appearing, keep in mind that all items will appear as Gunfighter mod, because that's where the script is located. If you're having trouble reloading, keep in mind that some mods override reloading Lua used by this mod and can prevent certain weapons from working correctly. Check your mod list and try disabling other mods that affect weapons. If you're missing files or your game is not loading, ensure that all your client and server mods are up to date. Delete and re-download them if necessary. If you're missing models or textures, restart the game, not just the save. Some assets load at game start, and enabling a mod may not load them. Also, check for any mods with the same mod ID in your local mods folder, as they can prevent workshop mods from loading. If you experience issues with duplicating magazines when reloading from a backpack, it may be due to conflicting mods. Identify the mod causing the issue and disable it. Troubles with Minigun Accuracy. Miniguns are challenging to use due to their extreme recoil. Increasing your aim skill will help you control them better, but they'll never be as accurate as shoulder-fired weapons. Issues with upgrading weapons. If you can't attach upgrades to your weapons, make sure you're not using a server setting override mod. This mod no longer uses any mod options for multiplayer games. It relies on the core game's sandbox settings for multiplayer. If you can't find skill books, another mod that adds books to the game might be conflicting. Place Gunfighter mod later in the mod load order to allow it to insert book items after other mods. Low FPS issues. Excessive items in your main inventory can significantly impact your frames per second. Keep most items in your backpack instead. Some core game optimization issues can cause FPS drops with large inventories. If you're having trouble getting these mods to work, ensure that you have all the required mods installed and enabled as indicated in the mod page. Congratulations, you've reached the end of this comprehensive guide to the Gunfighter mod. I hope this guide has been a valuable resource for you, whether you're a seasoned player looking to enhance your Project Zomboid experience, or a newcomer eager to explore the exciting feature this mod has to offer. Now go forth and embark on your zombie survival journey with the enhanced weaponry, tools, and options that the Gunfighter mod has to offer. May your aim be true, your inventory well managed, and your survival instinct sharp. Happy gaming!